At my sister's wedding, everyone clapped for her like she was royalty. She smiled like she owned the world. But when I handed her groom a single letter, that smile disappeared. And for the first time in her life, she wasn't the center of anything. My name is Emily Carter, and growing up with my sister Vanessa felt like living in someone else's shadow, except that shadow never stopped moving. It chased you, smothered you, controlled the light. Vanessa was older by 2 years, louder by 10, and praised by everyone like she was made of gold. Teachers adored her. Neighbors praised her. My parents practically worshipped her. And me? I was the quiet one, the helper, the tag-along. No matter what I did, it was never like Vanessa. Even when I got into a great college, the response was, "Wow, Vanessa's little sister got accepted there too? She must be so proud of you." She wasn't. She never was. When we were kids, I remember my 10th birthday party. I wanted a book-themed cake with little pages and frosting that looked like calligraphy. My mom smiled, then said, "Let's just unicorns like Vanessa had." Everyone loved that. I got unicorns. And when Vanessa graduated high school, we had a full-blown backyard event. Tents, caterers, speeches. When I graduated, pizza in the kitchen. No photos. My dad said, "Well, we just did Vanessa's a few years ago. What's the point of repeating it?" That sentence stuck in my bones. In high school, Vanessa ran student council, cheer, and theater. I joined art club and edited the yearbook. She got a trophy. I got a participation ribbon. She posted selfies in gowns. I posted sketches. When I got into a great graphic design program, my parents barely blinked. Vanessa got promoted at her real estate job, and suddenly we had a full dinner celebration. Every time I stepped up in life, she stepped over it like it didn't matter. Then came her engagement to Ethan Montgomery. Now here's the twist. Ethan and I went to the same college, same major, same year. We were friends, not close, but he was always respectful, intelligent, and actually listened when I talked. Something Vanessa rarely did. So when I found out through Instagram, not even a phone call, that Vanessa and Ethan were together and engaged, I froze. 1,000 thoughts raced through me. Did she know I knew him? Did he know I was her sister? Did this matter to anyone but me? Apparently not. They posted photos of their trip to Napa Valley. Her hand with the ring. His caption, "To my forever favorite." I didn't like the post. I didn't say congratulations. I didn't do anything. Vanessa didn't call. She just sent me a text 3 days later. "Hey, I want you to be one of my bridesmaids. 2 hearts, you look cute in lilac." Lilac, her favorite color. My least favorite. Of course. As the wedding planning ramped up, I noticed something strange. Ethan started reaching out. Little things. DMs, comments on my old college design posts. A few "hope you're doing well" messages. At first, I brushed it off. But then he sent this. "Funny how small the world is. You always had a way with words, Em. Wish I'd realized it back then." I stared at that message for a long time. It wasn't flirty, but it wasn't innocent either. That night, I didn't sleep. 2 weeks later, we had a wedding family dinner at my parents' house. Vanessa had her usual crowd, loud friends, fancy wine, and fake stories about how fun our childhood was. At one point, she clinked her glass and said, "Everyone raise your glasses to family. And to my little sister, who's finally doing something social for once. Yay for Emily." People laughed. I smiled. But inside, I broke. I excused myself and went outside. Ethan followed me. He said, "That was uncalled for." I nodded, unsure what to say. He paused, then added, "You deserve better." That night, I started writing a letter. Not to him. To myself. But it grew. I won't spoil it here, but that letter held everything I'd never said. About her. About me. About the truth Ethan never knew. By the wedding day, I had rewritten it 5 times. I printed it, folded it, slipped it into an envelope, and I handed it to Ethan right before he said "I do." Ethan stood frozen with the envelope in his hand, his fingers tightening around it like it held something radioactive. The ceremony music still played faintly in the background, violins and strings dancing in the air like nothing was wrong. But everything was wrong. Vanessa stood under the arch, glowing like she always wanted, hair curled, makeup perfect, everyone's eyes on her. She smiled at Ethan, motioning for him to walk up to her. But Ethan didn't move. He looked at the envelope again. Then at me. I didn't say a word, just gave him a single nod. And that's when he stepped away from the aisle. He walked behind the trees near the ceremony setup, opened the envelope, and started reading. It was silent. I stayed by the edge of the garden, away from the guests, holding my breath. The letter wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cruel. It was the truth. I told him how Vanessa used people. How she once stole my scholarship fund and used it to buy her first car. How she got me grounded once for something she did, and then laughed about it for years. I told him how she faked a medical excuse to get out of work while she was on a beach with another guy, something he never knew about. And then I wrote the last part. You're marrying a woman who hides who she is. You deserve to know what you're walking into. You've always been kind to me. That's why I'm giving you this letter. Not to ruin your wedding, but to give you a choice. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. He folded the letter slowly and looked out over the lawn. Guests started to whisper. The music had stopped. Vanessa was fuming. She stormed off the platform and went looking for him, heels clacking like gunshots against the stones. I could hear her voice rising behind the hedge. What are you doing out here? Everyone's waiting. Ethan looked at her, calm but hollow. I read the letter. Vanessa blinked. What letter? He held it up. The one from your sister. Her eyes darted toward me instantly. I didn't flinch. I just stood still. What did she say? Lies? She's always jealous, Ethan. She's always been bitter. He shook his head. It wasn't angry. It was honest. Vanessa's face crumpled, then shifted. Her voice became sweet again. Baby, don't let her get in your head. We're here. It's our day. She just wants attention. Ethan stepped back. Did you take her scholarship money? She froze. What? Just yes or no? There was silence. Then, I was young. It wasn't even that much. But you never told her. Or apologize. Vanessa looked like a snake that had just been cornered. Then he said, you lied to me about your past. I asked you things. You told me you were loyal, that you never cheated on anyone. But according to this, she's lying. She gave dates, places, names. Vanessa turned red. Her voice cracked. You're going to believe her over me? I'm your fiancé. He folded the letter and placed it back into the envelope. Not anymore. The air cracked like lightning. I could feel the shockwaves even from a distance. Vanessa screamed. You ruined everything. Ethan turned and started walking back toward the crowd. She followed him, still shouting. This is a mistake. You'll regret this. Don't you dare embarrass me. By now, guests were up. Some had started recording. Others were murmuring. My parents were standing near the front row, speechless. Ethan walked up to the microphone meant for vows. He looked straight at everyone. I apologize for the delay. There won't be a wedding today. Gasps. Real ones. Vanessa ran up behind him and grabbed his arm. Don't do this. Please, just talk to me first. He looked at her, calm as ever. I did. Through her letter. And with that, he handed the mic to the officiant and walked away. Vanessa collapsed to the ground in her white dress, sobbing. People stared but didn't move. No one comforted her. I stood still, watching the fallout like someone watching the final scene of a movie they've waited their whole life to see. Later that evening, after the guests had left and my parents were still pretending nothing happened, I sat outside on the garden bench. Ethan came up quietly, holding the envelope again. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I wanted to believe she'd changed.
She doesn't, I said.
She only hides it better. He nodded. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner.
You did, I said.
You just needed the right angle. He smiled faintly. I always knew you were different. I smiled back, but didn't say anything. This wasn't about romance. This wasn't a love story. It was a revenge story. Not loud, not messy. Just one letter, one truth, and one ruined wedding. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to cry. I just needed him to read.
And now?
She can cry all she wants. But she'll never say I ruined her wedding again. Because now,
She knows she did it to herself.
Studio Microphone, if this story hit home, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your story below. You never know who needs to hear it next.